The Final Four is underway.
Let's see the matchups early in this game. Anderson on Collison.
Collison still weaving out high. Now over to Ship.
Anderson with those long arms and has size differential about any guard that he plays against. That's what makes him so effective.
Westbrook with Rose on him. Dishes down low. Mbamute reverses. And the Bruins work it around brilliantly and get the easy bucket.
And one of the things about Westbrook, when Collison got injured, Westbrook had to become the point guard. It's made him so much more versatile, as he showed on that play. Now in the other end, to match up more than what I expected. Ship on Anderson.
Spin move, Rose, and the freshman. Short off the front of the rim. Dorsey just throws it up wildly, and the Bruins, Mbamute comes out with it.
Collison is quick, but he's going to have a hard time with that power move that Rose has going to the basket using that upper body strength.
Do you think we'll see Collison on Rose all night, or will Westbrook some?
I think Westbrook will have to move over to him.
Now it's Westbrook and Rose at this end. Here's Ship, stutter step move through traffic, and he's going to bring it back out. Mbamute takes the jumper, and it's over the top of the backboard. It'll belong to Memphis. The Tigers had led for 79 consecutive tournament minutes before that opening basket by UCLA, as they gave up an opening hoop to Michigan State. Then steamrolled the Spartans, had a 50-20 lead on them at halftime.
And here you see that Collison-Rose matchup. Westbrook, he can look anybody in the eye. Although he's 6'3", and Douglas Roberts about 6'5.5", Westbrook can play tall.
Dozier is going to drive on Mbamute. Short with the bank shot. Love has the rebound.
Boy, he takes up space, doesn't he?
Averaging a double-double on the season. The Pac-10 Player of the Year, the freshman Kevin Love, who really hasn't touched it down at this end.
He's outside. He'll take a jump shot from there if it gets out his way.
Mbamute did not have a clean handle. Collison scrapes it off the floor. It was right on the sideline, but not out. And Ship hits a three.
Jimmy, that's a huge shot right there. The young man has really been struggling. And believe me, if he can make that shot, I don't know if anybody can beat UCLA in the Final Four. I think he's that critical from the perimeter.
First 5 of the night go to the Bruins. Now it's Douglas Roberts, the All-America. Jumper, yes.
Decide to pull up and shoot over Westbrook using that height advantage. Nothing is touched with Love on the inside with Dorsey playing him. Let's see how long it takes to get him the ball down inside. Shaky pass.
Dorsey went for the steal. Love tries to force the pass. Rose was the one who tipped it away to cause the steal. Now it's Douglas Roberts. Puts it on the hip. Puts it up with the left hand, up and in.
That was some maneuver, wasn't it, Jim?
Wow. The way he scores is so unconventional, his shot.
Well, he is just a tremendous slasher. He showed he can pull up and take the jumper, but his real advantage on people is because of his size, put the ball on the floor and slash by.
Now they work it to Love on the blocks. Dorsey behind him. Takes his first shot. The freshman hits the soft hook.
Dorsey, one of the few guys in college basketball that can body up with Kevin Love and not be beaten.
Rose banks it home, and he spins his way free. Try to get him on transition. Douglas Roberts
never should have passed that ball back.
Back to Ship. Not this time with his jumper. Westbrook in the corner, still has it for UCLA.
That over Dorsey.
Ship hits his second three here in the first 3.5 minutes.
What I love about that is when a guy is in a slump and he's not wanting to take his shot, he very seldom is in any kind of a balance or rhythm to make him. Ship has come right out as the veteran that he is, looking to take jump shots.
His confidence has been so low here for over a month. But what a start here at the Final Four. Now Douglas Roberts again driving, and that's going to be a foul against Westbrook. Westbrook made the save, and Ship was able to fire it up for a second time on that possession.
And Jim, you notice he didn't hesitate at all. Squared right up with the shot. We know he's a good scorer. He has been just in a horrendous slump starting in February. Had a little bit of a whiplash yesterday in practice, as we had Ben Holland told us yesterday, but it looks like he's in good shape now.
Douglas Roberts, CDR they call him. He's the number 9 all-time scorer in Memphis history. Keith Lee is the all-time scorer for the Tigers. He was the one who took them to the 85 Final Four the last time they made it here. As you see,
Taggart in, Dozier out.
Taggart is such a valuable sixth man, the 6'10 sophomore out of Richmond, Virginia.
And Jim, so much has been said about this Memphis free throw shooting, but they have shot from the free throw line extremely well in postseason play, but they were 12th in their league. Only shot 60% on the year.
And Rose a little too close. Draws the whistle.
One of the few times that you'll find Rose going up against a similar athlete. There's no question that he made the bump on Westbrook. Cheap foul, one you don't want from one of your leading players.
Trying to beat him down the floor in the transition, aren't they, Billy? They had a long pass that was almost picked, and that time they were racing down the floor and drew the foul.
That's what's interesting about the way Ben Holland coaches. They'll take advantage of the break when it's there.
Love
nice
got
pump fake.
Dorsey to the floor, comes into the paint, back to the rim, no. Dorsey points ahead and says, take off. Anderson hears the call.
I love the way that Memphis is pushing this ball up the floor to try to make this more of an 80-point ball game.
Antonio Anderson delivers the three.
Good strategy on their part. They don't want to play half court at a time with UCLA.
Tigers have the lead now at 11-10. Back with Westbrook. Short jumper, yes. Bruins now by one.
Now, I wonder if we're going to see a change. Anderson going over there. Let Rose go ahead on ship. I think that'd be a better matchup for Memphis. And here's that driving ability, even against a defender, Pac-10 defender of the year like Westbrook. Goes right by him.
Westbrook already with one foul. Really didn't challenge him. And Rose drove right past him.
Well, Westbrook is going to have to move those feet because Rose will continually do that. He can push the ball up the floor as well as anybody, and with his strength can finish.
Love goes under the cylinder. No call. Blocked by Dorsey.
And here comes the push.
Going center. It's Douglas Roberts laying it in.
And you can see right now that this is becoming a Memphis-style basketball game. They are pushing the ball up the floor and beating UCLA to the punch.
This is not the kind of game they played 2 years ago in the Elite Eight out in Oakland.
Jim, they missed 14 straight three-point shots in that game.
Collison puts up a soft shot.
They go.
Up ahead, Anderson. Chip's going to challenge. No. Anderson dunks it down with force. And a timeout, UCLA. Bruins had scored the first 5, but now they're down 5 at the first break. Memphis shooting 70%.
It's interesting, UCLA with John Wooden. It was 15 years before he won his first title, and once he did, he went 44-3 in the NCAA tournament, 18 straight Final Four wins, 38 straight NCAA tournament wins. With the Wizard of Westwood, the greatest coaching championships in the history of college basketball.
Hard to believe it took until year 16 before he won his first championship. Underneath, Keith, who's come in, draws the foul on Taggart as Love lobbed it over the top of that defense. We have another break in the action. Memphis has hit its last 7 shots. A lot of them close range, even dunks. Lead by 5. 3 when they met UCLA in the championship game and again in 1985.
Jim, you know another thing that's interesting when you talk about the quality of the 4 teams here. First time ever, as everybody knows, 4 number 1 seeds get to the Final Four, but all 4 teams had 30-win seasons. So you talk about the quality from November right on through to Selection Sunday. So these clubs have proved to be very worthy. Keith comes into the ball game, and you know, this is kind of interesting. The young man did not have much of a year, and then Western Kentucky, 18 points, 12 rebounds to give a big lift to UCLA.
That was in the Sweet 16. He hits both free throws. That last foul, by the way, was charged to Joey Dorsey, not Taggart.
Going inside, nice double down by Keith.
Here's Taggart with a 3, and look at the big man shoot.
Jim, Taggart really was out of position on that play. He should have been, as soon as he saw the release by Keith, he should have broken to the basket and had a layup, but instead he stands out there and buries the 3. Everything working for Memphis right now.
Taggart, who had a hot hand in Houston last week, gave him some big minutes off the bench, as he so often has this season.
Another reason he probably should have been inside. He was 0 for 5 for 3 part of that shot, so it's his first 3 of the year.
Collison works it. Love left alone.
Dorsey hung too long with the guard. should have gone back in and followed up Love. You're worrying about a guard taking a jump shot as opposed to Love getting an easy shot inside.
Now Rose back out. Taggart, same spot, short this time. Allison snags it out of the air.
Not a high percentage play for Memphis when they're playing so well.
Again, bounce pass inside. UCLA inbound underneath after the kick. Bob Mute comes back in. Near the end of this game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy and American Revolution. Here's Westbrook with a three. Hits it. And it's a 1-point lead for Memphis. And the Tigers have brought in for the first time Willie Kemp, number 1, handling the ball right now.
Nice step back. Kemp not ready to defend on that particular play. Taggart was taken out by John Calipari. He didn't like that shot selection either.
Douglas Roberts.
So far, there's been no answer for the swirling dervish wingman.
Billy, you were there on Thursday night at the opening ceremony, the NCAA salute, and John Calipari called Douglas Roberts buckets because he doesn't do it always the most conventional way as Westbrook now backs up his three with a driving basket. He just knows how Douglas Roberts can make baskets. Buckets.
Kemp taking a school on 2 plays defensively. Westbrook really took advantage of it.
Here he is again.
Tough shot.
No, that was a wild throw at the basket. Almost stolen away by Anderson. Westbrook. What a rebound by Dorsey. Maybe got away with over the back.
He took a chance going over that back.
Kemp waits for everything to settle. Misses on the 3. And there's over the back on Dozier.
He didn't realize how strong Love was. He hit Love, and Love never moved.
A lot of energy in this building. Great pace early. Love and the Bruins are just 1 down.
He had a tough shot that he took, and other than that, he's had a flawless first half. Jimmy had 6 points and 6 rebounds as a non-starter in that game against UCLA where they lost in the regionals.
Well, he gets a little breather. 10 points for him. Lorenzo Mata-Real has come in for UCLA, number 14. Great experienced player for them. Was started in Final 4 games.
You see where Dorsey plays him, though. He's not going to go out there because he knows he's not going to take any kind of outside shot. Real is going to be a screener in this offense.
Bamute. Baseline shot over everything.
This club on the floor right now for UCLA lacks some scoring. An opportunity here for Memphis to get a little bit of a margin.
Memphis has brought in number 20, Donnell Mack, who can fire it up from 3. Tops on the team this year, 3-pointers made. It's Dozier pulling up with a jumper.
Nobody inside for rebounding, and there's the ball. Touches keep on the hands. Nobody inside for offensive rebounds.
You can watch exclusive video of Amen Corner Live, plus 15 and 16 live action from those 2 magnificent holes, and bonus coverage of the entire field with Masters Extra at cbssports.com/masterslive and masters.org. Here's Rose.
Shoots right over the top of Collison. Collison hasn't had to face this kind of power point guard, and he is playing over the top of him right now.
Rose has 6, and the Tigers are up by 3.
Ben Holland had to put some of his starters down. The pace of this game is much faster than what UCLA would like to play.
Taggart now on a switch is on Collison. Over the screen. Collison had a good look, but Taggart pulls it down. Here comes Memphis up ahead quickly. Anderson with a 3. Rose comes in again with that strength.
He didn't realize he was open, Jim, when he got that rebound. He was looking for some body contact.
Keefe holds on to the rebound this time. Back come the Bruins.
Nice screen by Keefe. Collison couldn't turn the corner. So even if you beat a guy like Anderson, Jim, you're a small guard, he's got the length to stop your jump shot.
Bamute over the Keefe screen. This is the short shot. On the floor, the reach-in is going to be called against Keefe of UCLA.
The bench is much more productive, isn't it, from Memphis? It's kind of obvious. They bring guys on the floor that can shoot and rebound.
Kevin Love is coming back in, but you talk about that Memphis bench, Billy, they are going to be without now. Here at the Final Four, Andre Allen, the senior who was suspended from the team a couple of days ago for violating a team policy. That was blow to this team because he's an important backup at point guard.
Now here's the matchup I thought. It's Westbrook on Rose right now. He's got good size on him and loves to sit down. A tremendous defender.
Rose over Westbrook.
Nice block out by Love on Dorsey.
Now it's Westbrook.
Setting some great screens outside for the guards.
Great action by Westbrook. He was patient, and he knocks it home. Gives him 9 now on the game.
Jim, what's happening to the Memphis players? They're going behind those solid screens, and the UCLA guards are just turning the corner and going inside. Good recognition by UCLA.
Anderson. Love tips it right back to him. Here's Mack. He can fire the 3. Down and out. Pulled down by Mute.
Mute, Keith, and Love now are starting to make their presence felt on the rebounds. Memphis not doing a good job on the offensive glass. Here comes the screen again, this time by Love.
This for the lead right back. Again, Long with the shot. Keith tips, no, out to Mack. Quick release to Rose. Gets past with a nifty dribble and lays it in.
And you know, he dribbled right by Westbrook. Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year.
Ship guns it from outside. Quick shot.
Got to question that shot because you don't want to make this pace too quick if you're UCLA.
Anderson with a 3. Oh, that was wild. And it got past everyone. Bounces right through the lane, back out high. Here's Mack floating through. Tipped up Dorsey. And cleared by Love.
Well, the frenetic pace is what Memphis wants, but they've got to have much better shot selection than that.
Ben Howland was screaming for a timeout. Bruins to the bench. Down 3. This one. That was a timeout called by UCLA with a second to go before a television timeout on the next whistle.
That's 2 so far that UCLA has used that might not have been necessary. Jim, the pace of this game is very frenetic. It's really in favor of the way that Memphis would like to play. So Coach Holland, he decided to go ahead and start resting his players early. And of all the people, and maybe, and I won't call it a weakness, but Love is not a guy that wants to play in a fast-paced ball game.
Love asking for it down low.
How about those hands?
Taggart behind. Here comes the double up. And the ball's knocked out.
And goes to the right man here.
Over to Dozier.
Jim, Rose is developing not only into a guy that can score, but he can make plays. He's got tremendous ability to cover the floor offensively. That was a perfect pass on the break. I didn't even realize he saw the trailing man filling the lane.
Cover the floor and see the floor.
Yep.
Now they got the timeout, the under 8 timeout, as Memphis leads it by 5.
Jim, watch the eye of the Tiger, this outstanding freshman guard, Derrick Rose. UCLA actually had better defensive balance than did Memphis. Rose, in effect, created a fast break all by himself. Terrific court awareness.
8 points for Rose, a couple of assists, no turnovers, and a steal. Now, that last whistle was an inadvertent whistle, and the inbounds pass goes right off the toe of Russell Westbrook. It'll now go back to the Tigers. Just a couple of absent-minded turnovers. Keith dropping a rebound with no one around him. That ball just inbounding, going right off the foot of Westbrook.
And that was by 2 very experienced guards. Very sloppy play. Here comes the screen on Collison. Nice step out by Love.
And a steal. It's Westbrook. Rose defending. What a block by Douglas Roberts. Collison.
They wanted a 5-second or a walk, and they got the walk. Nice refereeing by John Calipari, and here you see the length of Memphis. Rose goes up. Douglas Roberts completes the play.
Comes right on the heels of the steal or turnover, which was the first turnover of the game committed by Memphis. Took them over 13 minutes.
And it did not come from the guard play, Jim. Now watch Love step out on these screens. That was a pick and roll.
Taggart puts up the shot with the left hand, and Dorsey maintains possession for Memphis. Dorsey with 6 rebounds. Here's Kemp. Stuck? No. Finds Taggart. Over Love. Follow up Dorsey. No.
Dorsey's got to make that play. Love did a good job handling both big men on the play inside. He's got such a wide body and uses it well.
UCLA with all of its starters back on the floor. Memphis with 2 subs, Kemp and Taggart.
There's a back screen that time for Westbrook. It didn't quite work out. He was looking for the lob on it.
Now the switch. Dorsey goes back over, finds his man.
And it was a good idea because Love was ready to post up down low.
5 on the shot clock, Collison. Back to the rim, no. And it's Dorsey.
Normally UCLA eliminates those second chance points.
Follow-up Taggart.
Love was laying down on the other end of the floor. Never got down court.
Memphis has its largest lead of the night at 7.
Jim, fast break points. UCLA this year, 498, opponents 185. This game completely opposite.
Now it's Love.
Nice steal.
No steal, it's a foul instead.
Eliminated 2 points the easy way.
Douglas Roberts. Watch the follow-up Taggart. I'd say there was one beautiful move by Rose.
But just to get the shot off. To be quite honest, it was almost an assist by making a shot selection that was almost impossible.
Just after he'd gone behind the back. So now Love will go to the line for 2 shots. The most outstanding player of the West Regional, the Pac-10 Player of the Year.
That's Western Kentucky in this NCAA tournament. 29 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks. He just has a total game for a man this young that plays in the low post.
Antonio Anderson in for Rosen. What about the shuttling and the rotation of the guards for Memphis? I mentioned Andre Allen suspended and left back home in Memphis. What will that do for Coach Calipari?
I still think he is the deeper of the 2 teams, Jim, coming in with quality players, particularly on the defensive end of the floor.
Mata Real comes back in, so does Keefe, so Love will sit. Bob Mute to the bench.
But you're bringing in 2 players that have limited offensive skills and taking 2 players out that have great experience and quite a bit of skill. See, as an example, Taggart out, Dozier in. That's really, I realize Dozier's the better of those 2, but
now it's going to be Dorsey
instead. So that's a nice threesome that John Calipari is rotating.
Memphis has gone 8 deep in this game. 5:23 to go in the first half.
Kemp back here with Collison. Advantage Collison. With Rose on the bench. Anderson wants a little bit of ship here.
Feeds it to Taggart. Over Mata Real.
Well, the Iowa State grad has come on strong, hasn't he, Jim?
Yeah, he transferred after Coach Morgan left the program there at Iowa State.
Against Texas last week, 5 for 7, 12 points, 3 rebounds. Not much of a fall-off when he comes in the game, particularly on the offensive end.
He's got 7 points in this first half.
2 men on 1, somebody's open. It's Real.
Now it's Ship.
Kind of slippery on that floor right there on that end.
Keefe tries to kick it out. Traveling call against the Bruins. Should Americans be worried about Chinese billions bailing out Wall Street? Plus, did you know American astronauts are going back to the moon as tomorrow on 60 Minutes?
Jim, if I were Ben Holland, I'd ask for that floor to be swept down a little bit on his offensive end because guys are slipping quite frequently. But Taggart getting good setup on the inside. Anderson wanting a screen.
Anderson short with the shot. Monterreal with a good aggressive rebound.
Anderson's had some pretty good looks at the basket. That shot should have been made.
Spin move. Westbrook rolls it in. This kid has come on so big time his sophomore year.
There's no question. That was a big, big move for UCLA because they don't have a lot of scoring on the floor right now.
That's just knocked out, no foul. Last touched by UCLA. So Memphis will have it coming up out of the break. Tigers with the 5-point lead. 4 rebounds, a couple of turnovers. He's not taking a shot, Billy, in the last 8 minutes.
Jim, the reason for that is this game is being played from top of the key to the top of the key. There is so much movement by Memphis to get the ball moving down the court quickly. Kevin Love likes to play in the half-court situation. His game has basically not been played that way. Oh, nice step under.
And Collison collides with Rose.
I don't think they can afford to have Collison on Rose. He's just too big and strong for him.
It's the first foul on Collison. Coming up, AT&T at the half with Greg and Clark, Seth, and Florida head coach Billy Donovan. They'll break down the first half, plus the awarding of the player and coach of the year, and an AT&T Naismith Watch update coming up on AT&T at the half. So Rose to shoot a couple.
Jim, we saw this young man last weekend. 27 against Michigan State, 21 against Texas, 6 rebounds, 9 assists in that ball game. Just the floor generalship was just outstanding. You think of him as a power scorer, but he has developed into a terrific point guard leader.
And he was the most outstanding player of his regional, like Love was out west.
Anderson on Collison, using that size. Collison ought to try to put the ball on the floor and beat him off the dribble, get something started inside for Love. Here's Collison with the ball.
Ball tipped, and the Bruins fortunate, back into the hands of Collison. 5 on the shot clock.
That's what Collison needs to keep that dribble alive.
Mbah a Moute with 1 second on the shot clock is fouled. They said it was impossible for 4 number 1 seeds to make it the Final Four. Then again, they said it was impossible to get real Coke taste and 0 calories. Log on to mycokerewards.com and get lots of great NCAA gear. That's the second foul, Billy, on Dorsey here with 3:12 to go in the half.
Yeah, he'll have to sit down, but again, Taggart's going to come in, and he has played extremely well.
Mbah a Moute from Cameroon. His parents are here tonight. The first time they've ever seen their son play a basketball game over here in the States.
Jim, remember his freshman year, he talked about sending them a DVD of the Final Four, and his parents said, that looked like that was a big event. And if we'd known that was that big, we would have come. And so this year, fortunately, they have come to see him play for the very first time.
He's the first Bruin to start in 3 Final Fours consecutively since Bill Walton, Keith Wilkes, Greg Lee.
3 pretty fair players.
Yeah, and the first player from any program since Andre Hudson and Charlie Bell of Michigan State back in 01. Can't leave him open.
Nope.
Douglas Roberts knocks down a 3.
And Jim, when you mention those 3 players, you have to think of UCLA Memphis, because Keith Lee had 14. Lee had 14 assists in that ball game. Walton was the famous 21 of 22 from the field.
Oh, that spins out on Westbrook. Underneath, Memphis comes out with it again. It's CDR.
Goes Anderson.
Trying to take middle, but Collison shut off the angle.
Collison has blazing speed. His parents both sprinters. He got back and stymied what could have been an easy layup.
Billy, do you sense it's a dangerous time right here with 2.5 to go for the Bruins? Oh, Collison tries to make the steal. Comes up with a quick hand, but stepped out.
That was a tough break for UCLA. And I tell you why, Jim. As Dozier wants to put the ball and challenge the guy like Collison. That's a mistake. Get that ball back in Rose's hands, because he's been able to keep Collison at bay.
They're going to bring in, on the Memphis side, Pierre Niles, the 6'8 sophomore, homegrown talent from Memphis. Collison in this game, Billy, 0 for 3 from the field. Collison, who averages 15 a game.
Well, I think he needs to keep his dribble more alive when he gets those double teams by the Memphis big people, because that'll get the ball to Love.
Do you sense it's a dangerous time or not?
Not yet. Not yet. I think that UCLA is an experienced club. You've got Love back in the ball game, and he's fresh. They got to get him the ball some on offense.
Memphis has had some big closes to first halves this year. Here's Douglas Roberts, swatted away by Love.
Not a great shot blocker, but if he can be waiting on you, it'll work.
Schiff with the left hand, and it's a foul call on Memphis. It's on Taggart. His first.
Jimmy, you see Love with that block very close to on the way down. Now, in the first 23 games this year, he only had 17 blocks. And since that time, in the last 14 games, he's had 30 blocks. So getting much more accustomed to his low post defensive job. one was very close to being on the way down, particularly in the fact that Douglas Roberts gets way up when he releases the ball on those penetrating moves.
Dozier coming back on the floor for Memphis. Niles back to the bench. Shipp, who hit those three-pointers early in this game, wide of the mark with his first free throw. Now one more.
Now he's down to 32% from three, but still a pretty good free throw shooter at 78%.
Looked uncomfortable, though, with those two. Love comes out high now, goes back down into the paint. Close in on Taggart. He takes the jumper over.
Very little offensive rebounding threats for Memphis. Their guards are getting back to stop the break. Nobody penetrating inside. They could get some offensive rebounds.
That's a foul on Taggart, so he picks up two quickly. Two on him, two on Dorsey. It'll be a 1-and-1.
Well, with 1:25 to go, you might have to put both of them down.
Here's Derrick Rose, Billy, again starring.
Flawless first half by this young man. That was that brilliant move by Westbrook.
Conference USA Freshman of the Year, first team All-Conference USA. Most assists by a freshman in Memphis history. Got 9 points, 2 assists. His Love will be rewarded with one more.
And Jim, in that game in 06, in which UCLA scored 50 points, they were 20 for 39 from the foul line. Just think of that, 20 of your 50 points from the foul line and almost shooting only 50%. So you don't win many games like that.
Rose getting away from Collison. Now over Love. Oh, wow. Past Collison and over Love.
I think that Love felt that he was going to make a pass on that and not put that ball over him. He never left the floor.
Back to a 7-point margin. Down low. Love waits. Follow-up, yes.
One of the best in college basketball at second chance points. You're talking about Rose putting on a show right here against one of the quickest defensive guards in the country.
Well, there's a tip and an offensive rebound. And there's a 7-second differential and a timeout called by Memphis. And Rose is complaining that he was hit on the arm on that jumper. But what a first half for the young man from Chicago. A tournament. Of course, that famous 1957 triple overtime championship game won by Carolina. Wilt Chamberlain, the outstanding player on the losing side.
Yep, an undefeated North Carolina team coached by Frank McGuire. Played 2 games in the Final Four, both triple overtimes, beating Michigan State in the semis.
Taggart regains the handle, now gives it up. Douglas Roberts over Westbrook. And the Bruins tip it around and keep it. Nope. On the floor, Dozier. Pass deflected, and Love says, I will take it.
Not a good idea considering the fact he could have held it for the last shot. Not a good play by Anderson.
Collison left alone, and he has a field goal for the first time tonight.
That was a foolish play.
Douglas Roberts has time to launch it. This will count if it's good. Good first half here, Billy.
Very good, and a nice job by UCLA to stay in there.
Douglas Roberts with 13, leading all scorers, and we'll be sending it back to New York. Back to Greg Gumbel when we continue on CBS.